Here we go again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You are watching Open. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in and checking it all out. Hey, coming up on today's show, we'll shine a light on the work of a United States national youth poet. Yeah, and she does her thing. She's here today, and we're going to hook up in a little while. And then we'll be joined by a personal fitness trainer who will share tips on how to shed pounds this winter as the holiday season approaches. And then finally, we'll sit down with the representative of a non-profit organization that is helping people balance their minds, body, and spirit. So stay tuned, kick off your shoes and relax your feet. We are wide open. Here we go now. There you go. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is the United States National Youth Poet Laureate, and she's with us today to speak about her passion for poetry and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Stephanie Pacheco. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, hi. I'm so
I have
honored
all
to
of
be
your
here.
family records
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Right.
Eddie Pacheco.
Yes.
Johnny Pacheco.
Right, all of them.
all of them. So listen, you've been doing this for some time, huh?
Yes, I have for many years now.
But this is the first time on the show, right?
I was able to do a quick interview online during COVID a little while back. It was my first time in the studio here kicking it with y'all, so I'm excited to be here.
So since you're here, we have this initiation process here.
Okay.
Should we do it? They didn't tell you about it.
No, they didn't tell me about this.
Are you a little skeptical or worried?
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm excited.
So listen, take us to the beginning. How did you become interested in poetry?
So I was always interested in reading and writing and using like literature and words to kind of escape to a different world. But my interest for creative writing kind of started peaking around middle school when I would be getting these, like poetry assignments in my English classes and that kind of thing. And I realized that I really enjoyed writing. But it wasn't until I got to high school and I got involved in like activism, student advocacy, and that kind of thing that I realized that my poetry could be used for something good. I could use all those stories that I was telling to uplift my community, to talk about things that I cared about, and to create action towards what I wanted to see in the world. And also, like, I can't talk about like my interest in poetry without talking about like where I'm from. Like,
where you
being
from? Where you
I'm
from?
from the South Bronx.
South Bronx, South Bronx. Here we go now.
And I mean, I've always been surrounded by music, by storytellers. Like, I talk often about like, lunch table beatboxing and ciphers, and like when I was always around people who would gather together and just start telling stories and singing and rapping and all of that. So all this creativity was always around me. So it was like I was kind of innately pushed to poetry.
But when you started putting it together, was it about the community? Was it about your family? Was it about the things around you that you were growing up in?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like when people think about poetry, they think about, how personal it can get. And that's absolutely true. A lot of people write poetry and they write about themselves and their emotions and use it to look inward. And then maybe down the line, they start talking about the world around them. But for me, it happened the opposite way. Like, my first poems were about everything that was happening outside of me. It was about my community. It was about what was happening around the country. And then, like, getting in the practice of that is what allowed me to then, learn how to talk about myself and my identity and my lineage, my family, all of that. But what came first was me looking up and writing what I saw.
How did it feel when you became a youth poet laureate?
My gosh, it is an honor beyond what I can conceptualize. Like, it is such an honor to hold a title like being the United States Youth Poet Laureate, and to be able to take those same stories that I've always been telling and now share them on a national platform. And something that I always hold with me is that anytime that I'm on any stage, that I get any title, any position, it doesn't belong to me. Like, it's not mine to hold on my own. Every time that I walk into any stage, anytime that I share any poem, I bring everyone who came before me with me. I bring my whole community with me. I bring all of our ancestors to every space that I'm in. So it's such an honor to hold a title like this. And I'm happy to say that it's not an honor that I hold on my own.
And you bring a lot from the Boogie Down BX, right?
Always. I mean, how could I not? Yeah. All the music, all the love that I was raised around finds its way into everything that I do. And I think that's an important narrative for me to tell. Like, a lot of people think about a place like the South Bronx and they think about the things that we don't have, or like the things that are maybe taken away from us. But I always think about my community, and I think about everything we did have. Like, all the laughs that I've shared in my community, all the people that banded together to raise me, and all the kids on the block. Like, I think about all the abundance that we did have. We were abundant in love. We were abundant in you know, keeping survival tactics, you know, in our back pockets. And that's something that I always hold with me, and it finds its way into my art, and I keep it.
You not only represent the youth, you're representing young adults now too.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you would tell our youth in knowing where you came from and knowing how people want to get to where you are?
I'd say, and this is something that poetry and art has taught me, and it's to have courage to do things even if you're scared. Like, I remember the first time that I went up in front of a crowd to share a poem, and I was terrified. Oh my goodness. Like, I was holding, you know, the printed version of my poem. I was shaking. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this, y'all. But the second that I said that first word and I started speaking, even though I was afraid, it was like the world opened up to me, you know, like the audience that I was speaking in front of was ready to receive me. And in order to meet them where they were, to connect with them in that moment, like, I had to do it even if I was afraid. So that's something that I would tell younger me. That's something that I remind myself every day now. And it's something that I would share to other young people. Like, it's scary to do art. It's scary to tell your story. It's scary to do a lot of things, but you got to do it anyway, because all the most beautiful things you can experience will be on the other side of that fear.
It's even more frightening if you didn't prepare before you got there. So talk about some of the things that you have to do in order before you even have to come out on stage and let people know what you've been practicing.
Ooh, deep breaths. A lot of deep breaths. A lot of deep breaths. I've, you know, been able to practice like the art of grounding myself before I go out and do those scary things. But what I've noticed is that these days, like, by the time that I'm, you know, getting ready to walk up to that microphone or walk up to the Bronx Net, you know, TV studio, like, all of that anxiousness that I might feel, I try to leave it at the door. And by the time that I get here, that I get to that mic, that I get to the stage, I try to sit with the gratitude of the fact that I even get to do this kind of thing. I sit with the gratitude of, again, all the people that have come before me, that have made space for me to do the things that I do. I sit in that gratitude, I sit in that love and in that joy, and I try to transmute that into all the words that I say. And that and the deep breaths, you know, gets me through the scary things.
And doing it over and over and over again. You can't just say, all right, I'm going to, I know all about this before I get out there. Because that can be more frightening than anything else. Oh, wow, I don't know what to say. Yes, you do, because you went over it. Like a baseball player, he throws that, if it's a pitcher, he's throwing those strikes and trying to practice on seeing how that ball curves in there. He's doing it over and over and over and over and over again. so that when he gets to the mound, he knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows the batters that are coming up too. That he has to deal with. So you have to do some of the same thing, right, before you jump on stage or before you jump in front of a camera.
Yeah, poems and writing take a lot of practice. They take a lot of intention. And I do a lot of that. Like before, you know, a poem is ever, you know, met with a stage, like you gotta do a lot of thinking, a lot of sitting with yourself. You gotta do the writing and the drafts of all of it. And especially like if you're someone who loves performing and, you know, that's something that you use to connect with people, like performing takes a lot of practice as well. But it's such a labor of love. Like I love being able to sit with the stories that I'm gonna tell. I love being able to write and to do that kind of practice. It's a really like sacred thing to do. So it does take a lot of that before getting to any microphone, to any platform. But it really is something that's very joyful.
Yeah, and it's not as scary as it used to be, right? It's still, you still have that, but not like it, like when you first started.
No. Now, like I get excited to perform. Like I tell people all the time that a lot of the time I feel my freest on stage in front of a whole bunch of people. So you know, there's still sometimes some angst that I got to shake off, but I feel very comfortable on stage, and I'm always very grateful to be able to do what I do.
Stephanie, what are some of the stories that you talk about? What stands out?
Yeah, so
they all stand out, but you know, one or two.
So again, I started off writing about my community, and that's still something that I do. The poem that I was able to share at the National Youth Poet Laureate commencement in D.C. at the Kennedy Center.
That's the one you used?
I used. It was a poem about being from the Bronx. But the thing is, like, I realized that even though my stories are rather local, like the poems are very much happening on my block. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the story is. I realized that those personal, those local stories are what resonates with a large audience. Like maybe not everybody's gonna be from
identify with it.
Exactly. Like maybe not everyone's from the Bronx, but everybody knows what it's like to have a song that you hear and it reminds you of a place, or it reminds you of a feeling, or it makes you feel like home. Everybody has, you know, people in their community that they look to and lean on, that you're like, you know, if I go this place, I know I'm going to see this person, and, you know, it's going to be that. Like everyone might not be exactly where I'm from, but people know what I'm talking about, because everyone has a place that they call home. So I keep telling the story of the Bronx because it's a story for all of us to share. And also, like, to the point that I was making earlier, like talking about the Bronx, talking about how being from the Bronx, you know, teaches me so much about the world and, you know, how the local is national. It's also allowed me to get language to look inward. So I find my poems also, like, you know, going into, you know, family lineages and into you know, unpacking histories and into allowing me to unpack my identity. I speak a lot about being someone who is Black and Latina at the same time, and, you know, poetry has allowed me to navigate that. Poetry has also allowed me to talk about, you know, make commentary on what's happening in the world and in the country, and, you know, it reminds me to dream bigger and broader than what currently is, and also, you know, hopefully allow the same for other people. So it's a lot of stories that I get to tell through my words.
Yeah, and you're a CUNY student also.
Yes, I am a CUNY student.
Still doing it.
Still doing it. Still a CUNY student. And it is such an honor to be a CUNY student. And especially, like, being on a national platform and being able to be a CUNY student, I think is so important, because, you know, people think of, you know, a prestigious title like being a National Youth Poet Laureate, and they match it maybe to, like, a school that they might think is, like, traditionally prestigious, you know, a fancy private school or what have you. But, like, really, CUNY is a prestigious institution. Like, CUNY has brilliant students, has so much talent. I've gotten the chance to meet some of the most amazing people ever, some of the most beautiful souls through the CUNY system, like in these rockin' public schools here in New York City. And I think it's so important for people to see that, yes, the United States Youth Poet Laureate is a girl that goes to a community college. Like, that's important to see. And I'm so honored to just be, like, to provide people just a glimpse of all the beauty that the CUNY system has. So I am a CUNY student, and it's something that I don't feel shame about. I'm very proud of it. Listen, are we gonna do something? Are you gonna perform a little something? So, so I think what we decided to do was cut to a clip of the poem that I got to share.
You want to cut to the clip?
I think we can cut to a clip. Got a little snippet of it. A little high def footage.
All right. Well, we'll hold that for a hot
Yeah,
second.
we'll hold that for a little second. Yeah, okay. But I do get to perform, you know, that poem that I did for that commencement where I had the honor of being titled the National Youth Poet Laureate. And I think about what that moment was, and you know, to get the National Youth Poet Laureate title, it is technically, you know, there are levels of a competition that, you know, folks have to go through in order to get a title like a Youth Poet Laureate, but I never think about like the competition itself. That's never what it's been for me. Like it's always been, you know, getting the pleasure of, again, being able to share stories that are near and dear to my heart, being able to represent my community on different levels, and also being able to meet young people from all across the country that otherwise I wouldn't cross paths with. Like I've sat in rooms with people from, you know, states in the Midwest and this, that, and the third, and we get to chop it up and talk about, you know, the things that matter to us. And I've been able to realize that I have so much in common with people that are from completely different places, that, you know, are from completely different backgrounds, but we're united over our love for art and for language. And that's a really beautiful thing to experience.
When you won the award, what's some of the things that you had to do to advocate for the work that you were involved in? Like when you become a beauty pageant, you have to do a year of going around and go to different countries. What did you have to do?
So a little bit of insight into like the process of becoming a National Youth Poet Laureate. So the Youth Poet Laureate title exists on a whole bunch of different levels. There are local Youth Poet Laureates, there are regional Youth Poet Laureates, and then there's the National Youth Poet Laureate. So before I was able to, you know, have this national platform, I went through the process of competing for the New York City Youth Poet Laureate, and I was able to hold that title. And then I got the chance to be the inaugural New York State Youth Poet Laureate, the first ever, which is crazy. And then that allowed me to qualify to become a regional Youth Poet Laureate for the Northeastern region, which made me a finalist for the National Youth Poet Laureate. And each of those levels, essentially, those, you know, competitions are really just like seeking to find young people that are interested in both poetry and activism. Like that's what a Youth Poet Laureate title is about. Like, you know, celebrating and acknowledging the intersection between art and activism. So for each level, like, you know, I you know, had to submit some poems, you know, do the writing, do the performing, but also like I had to talk about the things that I was doing in my community and like the ways that I was involved in activism and advocacy and volunteering and all that good stuff, because that's important too. Like, you know, we got to write the poems that are talking about, you know, all the things that we want to see, but we also got to, you know, put some advocacy and some action behind it. Yeah.
So you came all the way up to that point, and then bam, we went to this picture right here. How did you feel?
Oh my gosh. That day was crazy. It was such an electric feeling. This picture was, oh my gosh, that's me with the previous National Youth Poet Laureate, just sitting in such awe. I mean, that room was on fire. Like,
what was the feeling like?
I still can't even fully describe it. Like, I was obviously in awe of the moment. I was like feeling every possible emotion. Like, I was looking into the audience and seeing people that had followed me through my poetic journey all the way up until that moment. I mean, I was overwhelmed with joy, I mean, I still can't fully describe the feeling, but the energy in the room was so bright. It was so, like, the cheers were so loud. It felt like the
You had your cheering section, your friends and family.
Right, yeah, like all the folks in my community, like, and even the people who didn't know me, who were just meeting me there. Like, people were just happy to be there, happy to see someone, to see, you know, a whole bunch of young people get to experience a moment like that. Like, it was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Beautiful. Now, where do we go from here?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know that I had a plan to become a poet. I don't know that I had, you know, 5 years ago, I don't know that I could have pointed you to where I'm at now. So really, I like to, you know, keep that kind of, you know, I'm openness for what's coming next. Like, I'm letting the poetry guide me. I'm letting the poetry lead me. I'm still wrapping up, you know, my English degree as a CUNY student, so that's coming next. as a National Youth Laureate, I get to perform at a whole bunch of different venues. You know,
They're calling on you, huh?
Yeah, you know, there's always a need for poetry, and I'm always honored to answer that call. So I'm excited to keep performing. I'm excited to keep, you know, visiting schools and that kind of thing, getting to connect directly with other young people. I'm excited to, you know, teach poetry workshops and teach people all that I've learned through my time writing. So what's next is what I'm already doing, and hopefully getting the chance to keep telling those same stories of my neighborhood, of myself and my community, keep seeing how far that can go and how many people will be able to resonate with that.
Stephanie, let's go to this video and
yes,
check it
let's
out.
check it out.
Yeah, here we go.
The hood kids' magic vessel into wonderland. We made steel poles our enchanted forest, wished upon the stars of its lights, and tapped our feet to the sound of the underground roar. We say, the most Bronx trip you could attend was the Bronx Zoo. Was the one that was cheapest for the school budget. Was the one that all of our mommies could afford. Was the other place where caged beings live. Say, the mark of nativity is watching other things in capture, is being a witness to the cage.
Yeah, what do you think? The crowd went crazy after that, right?
I mean, people gave me a lot of energy to feed off of, and I'm glad I was able to give it back to them.
You were like a rapper because you had a DJ behind you too, right?
Yeah, in a way, yes. Yes, in fact. Yeah, absolutely.
He was able to give you a beat every now and then?
I mean, we had some, you know, musical transitions and whatnot, but the poetry was kind of standing on its own that day. But hey, there's no denying the connection between poetry and hip hop. So in some ways, I was doing a rap of sorts at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, you know, rap and poetry. It goes hand in hand, like a hand in the glove. Now, people wanted to contact you to come to their school, to teach, to do poetry, or to get you to come anywhere across the country. Social media, website.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm always so honored to connect with people, always so open for anywhere that poetry is needed. I'm on social media at the Stephanie Pacheco, pretty much on anything. People can reach out to me through there, and I'm always so happy to keep sharing all the love that poetry has given me.
Are you related to the Pachecos?
Maybe
you never know, right?
Maybe maybe everywhere I turn, there's a new Pacheco that I got to learn about. So maybe I got a cousin out there that maybe writes some poems too.
Yeah, Johnny Pacheco, Latina, you know, Latino playing music.
Maybe.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us, okay?
Thank you so much.
Good luck in everything that you do.
Thank you.
And do your thing in school.
Always.
Take care of business, and we will see you out there on stage somewhere.
Yup, somewhere.
And come back again on TV.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr. Bavli. Thank you, BronxNet. It's always an honor.
You got it. Stephanie Pacheco, poet, United States National Youth Poet Laureate. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more right here on Open.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. .55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. .34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, Visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
Hey Creative Family, my name is Timothy Coleman and I'm the Director of Education here at BronxNet. And I'm standing in BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx because I want to let you know about an amazing program that we're bringing back that highlights the creativity of community members just like you. Emerging Media Makers is a show that introduces you to BronxNet's certified producers. They've taken a step in their creative journey by enrolling in BronxNet's media training classes. On this show, you'll get to see the many ways that our certified producers have created a space that's all their own. Emerging Media Makers, your passion lives here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, our next guest is an education executive and fitness enthusiast, and she joins us today to speak about her fitness journey and shape and share some tips. I'm going to say shape too. Shape your body, sculpt your body the way you like it, all right? And we're going to share some tips on how you can achieve your fitness goals this holiday season because, you know, when the holiday comes, we're like, we're eating all over the place. So please welcome to the show, Vilma Cevallos.
Thank
Vilma,
you.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So how did you get involved in just having an interest in working out and, you know, letting other people know that it's important to get your body, your mind, body, and soul in line?
So it began over 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago,
Yeah.
after I had my fourth child.
Oh, okay.
After having 4 children, my body changed. So I had the extra weight from giving birth. And I was very concerned with losing the extra pounds after having 4 children, but also about my health.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diabetes in my family, so I was very concerned not to develop diabetes too. So I started working out consistently, and I just stayed consistent, and I started working out, working on my nutrition in order to support my fitness. But then as I continued working out, somehow the benefits were so great for me. Not only I was improving physically, I was improving mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, yeah.
So through fitness.
What were some of the things that you did while you were working out?
What the things that I did.
Did you do the jumping jacks and sit-ups and push-ups?
So I started basically, you know, taking, at first I was taking fitness classes. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I started taking fitness classes. I started jogging, running. I began to be more active, and then joining classes. I did do different type of classes. I think I have done HIIT classes, strength training classes, powerlifting classes, like whatever classes out there, I have done them.
Yeah, yeah.
I just became fascinated, but you know, as I started progressing with fitness, there was an overall improvement in my mental health and also in emotionally the way I was feeling. So then that, you know, pushed me to continue.
Yeah, and a
stay
lot of
consistent.
people, they work out or maybe not, or maybe work out somewhat, but how important is the diet? I mean, eating.
So that's key, because many people start working out and they start with a fitness routine, and you know, at first they may see changes to their bodies.
Yeah.
And they may start losing weight, but then they plateau. And the reason is because they don't take time to work on the nutrition. It's extremely important.
Yeah.
You have to work on your nutrition, and you know, if you are working in your fitness, so you have to work in your nutrition. It goes hand by hand. You cannot have one without the other.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you will be very unhealthy if, you know, you work. Sometimes you see things on social media and people think that they can have a workout and then go to McDonald's. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
But eat fast food because I just work out, so I can eat it. No, you can't.
Yeah, the processed food doesn't work all the
No,
time. You know, every now and then I had a hamburger, but you have to basically eat better than that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do have to eat healthier than that. You know, you have to really eat more natural and avoid processed food or
Yes.
prepackaged.
What are some of the things that you eat to stay healthy?
You know, I eat a balanced diet. I like to balance my macros. So basically I eat, you know, carbs, protein, and fats, but they are healthy, right?
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I love eating oatmeal, for example. If I had to decide between bread, I would go with the oatmeal.
Yeah.
And when it comes to protein, lean protein,
Lean
fish, bean, lentils, chicken. I don't eat meat, by the way. I
Yeah.
eat fish, but my sons are also, you know, into fitness, so they eat. I feed them the chicken.
You're the vegan, and they want the meat.
More
Give me the protein.
pescatarian, right? I'm more into the fish, and I do seafood, but I'm not a meat eater. Personal reasons, but.
And you know, there's a stigma out there. There's a mental health stigma out there, and a lot of people are suffering from mental health. More so, I don't know if it's more so now than ever before, but they're talking about it more now than ever before. You think exercise and
Yes.
eating right and
Absolutely.
staying healthy can head that off?
Absolutely. When you train consistently, because you are training consistently your body and your mind, it sort of help you. It help you overcome past traumas. It's like a healing process. You heal your body through fitness. It's very interesting because, you know, sometimes we don't think about it, but we could have a very stressful job and work all day long and be stressed and not being able to handle those frustrations. But when you work out, then you can leave it at the gym. You can release your tension, your frustration there, leave it there, and then come back to whatever you were dealing with. And you find most people doing that nowadays because many studies have improved, even changes in the brain when we work out consistently. It's not, you know, working out, because working out means different things to different people. Yes.
You're working. What?
Yes.
Wow. You gotta have some weight on there, right?
Yes, that was a lot of weight. I think all the plates. Yeah.
That gotta be about 60 pounds, 50 pounds.
That's a little
More?
bit more. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
close to probably almost 200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And what does that part do for you? What part of the body does that work?
So I was working more, depending how you position your body. When you work with machines and cables, it's really how you engage your lats and your core. So basically it was more into, I was coming down, so I was hitting more of the back, my lats on my back.
So nobody can push you around,
And shoulders. No, I'm super strong. Nobody pushes me around. Not at work, not at home, not in the gym, not at all.
Wait, but you had a fitness contest, right?
Yes.
Organized by Hers magazine?
Yes. It's
Talk about that.
It's a nationwide contest, and they select the winner of the contest is a Mr. and Mrs. Health and Fitness.
Yeah.
So I won. It was very interesting, and it was key into, you know, where I'm at right now, right? Because in that context, I am an administrator with New York City Public Schools.
Yeah.
So my fitness life is like hidden. My TikTok, my Instagram is like hidden because I support all 5 boroughs in New York City in terms of what I do. So that was like a hidden side. So the competition, very interesting competition because it was the process of opening myself to the world in terms of fitness. And let me tell you about that competition. I made it as far as semi-quarter finals.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because not only I was competing to get the cover of the magazine, and there was a $20,000 prize, but it was also supporting getting funds for the Andrew McDonald B+ Foundation, which is support cancer research for children. So I was in the competition. I was very excited to be. I brought so much excitement to my family and friends. But the fact that he opened me up to the entire New York City, I was like, oh my God.
So when you stepped into the school building, they said,
many people found me in social media because now it was more, my social media got more attention.
They said, mira, look at Vilma.
And everybody would always ask me, how do you do? And now it's like more into the open interns. Yes, that's my other side. That's my fitness life.
All right.
And, and again, give me the opportunity to realize how important it is for us women to stay fit and healthy. And as a professional woman, the fact that also allowed me to inspire others, because now I was open for the entire city, New York City, and my employer, but also others could see that we can have busy jobs, be professional people, have children, families, and still make time for fitness in our schedule.
Right.
There's always room for it. We just don't make it, but there's always space.
Talk about some of the health benefits that you feel or that a person would feel upon working out.
So some of the health benefits that a person will feel, overall, they will have more energy, right? Their energy would increase, their attention,
mental clarity,
libido,
the whole
everything. You just feel like a brand new person.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look younger too.
Yeah, there you
go. And you get better looks.
Yeah. That's it. Beautiful.
And a strength.
Yeah.
But
what do you tell a person that wants to start out but don't know how to start out? What should they do?
So what they should do. So the first thing that I tell anyone before they begin any fitness regimen or exercise is to check with the medical doctors to ensure that there's not an underlying medical condition or that they don't have any restrictions. And then after that, to start training immediately. Start working out, find a way. I think, you can work out, sometimes people start and they go all out. And then, 5 days, they can't do that. Then they stop working out. So then pace yourself. See what is doable, right? Form goals. So if you can start with 2 days or 3 days, start with 2 and 3 days. Then move to 4 and 5. Work on your nutrition at the same time. Work with a person. Enlist family members, friends to go with you.
And don't eat after a certain time.
Definitely the nutrition.
No arroz con pollo all the time. No pasta,
arroz con
pastas.
pollo, no pasta. Listen.
I mean, every now and then you can treat yourself to what you love. I like to eat this.
Every now and then, but the reality is that, sometimes even when we think that we're eating healthy, you'll be so surprised that we're not. I mean, I have tell my own friends sometimes, you know, oh, I got peanut butter. Wait until you see it's organic. And I look at the label, sugar. Why do you want sugar in your peanut butter? So always be conscious of the ingredients. If you're gonna buy, you know, when we're busy and we're working, sometimes we don't have time to cook. So for anyone that is starting their fitness, set yourself for success. Start meal prepping, meal planning. And when you cook on the weekend, you have your meals at least for half of the week.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, so where do we work out next?
So
when's your next workout?
My next workout is...
You did it this morning. Do you do it again at night?
Well,
or you work once a day?
I haven't gone yet. I'm going to go at 3 a.m. today in the morning. It's the best time for me.
3 in the morning?
Yes. Because...
But you go to bed early, though.
Yes. I go to bed earlier.
Because you got to get enough sleep also.
Right. You need enough sleep. So what it is, sometimes people ask what is the best time to work out. And the fact is that the best time is the best time that works best for you and that you can be consistent long term. Because there's a lot of contradiction between different studies, whether you work late at night, in the PM because your body has reached a higher level of temperature and your muscles are warm, so you have better athletic performance, versus a number of studies that are saying work out early in the morning because you have less fluid and it will help you with energy and attention. For me, I was the night person, but then it was interfering with my sleeping patterns, so I became the morning person. 3 a.m. may sound early, but the fact is that I need to be at 5:30 on my commute because I work in the Bronx, New York City.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect time frame for me.
And your mind has to be in charge of your body. Because if your body says, I don't feel like getting up, I'm staying right here. Another 15 minutes of sleep will do. Your mind, you have to be strong in your mind and
if you eat properly and you eat healthy food versus eating processed food, and you get enough sleep, enough water. Sometimes we don't drink enough water, and I think that's one of the number one reasons why we overeat. So drinking enough water. Sometimes we think we're hungry, but we are actually thirsty.
The body's
thirsty.
thirsty.
And one of the things that we can do is just ensure that you're drinking enough water, that you're hydrated enough so you don't overeat throughout the day. You know, there are many things that you can do to change your diet. I mean, you get me talking about food and fitness. I won't stop talking.
I know.
I'm like, this is what I love. I'm like so passionate about it.
How do we find out more about you? Give us some more tips on your website or social media.
Right. So, they can find me on Vilma Fit. Right? And Vilma Fit and Instagram. Also, I'm in LinkedIn. I'm working now on my own fitness business. So I have creating my YouTube channel, my webpage. So everything is coming in at this time.
Beautiful. Vilma Fit. Vilma Fit.
For Instagram.
Yeah. Vilma Cevallos.
Cevallos. Can I give you one more tip for people?
One more tip.
That have worked for me?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, what worked for me is eating in smaller plates. Because then I have less food, and if you have less food in your plate, then you do not overeat. We often overeating.
But Christmas is coming.
I know.
All the Thanksgiving, all the holidays.
Dessert dish. Yes.
Use a smaller dish.
Trust me. Yes.
A huge drumstick on a small dish.
Yes.
Or just cut smaller pieces, right?
Small pieces.
Listen, thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Come back and share more, okay?
I will.
All right, we'll take a quick break. I've got more. It's all coming your way next on Open.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And here we go. Welcome back. Our final guest is an Emmy-nominated, Oscar-shortlisted producer, storyteller, and creative. She's also the board secretary of Entering the Holy of Holies, an institute of learning and healing, who just joined us to speak about how the organization has positively impacted our community for over 20 years. So please welcome to the show, Angela Harmon. Angela, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bob. It's a pleasure to be here and to see you've been a hero and someone I've been listening to for years on the radio. So a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be talking to somebody from the Holy of Holies.
Yes, yes, yes. So Entering the Holy of Holies, I know, is a very unique name, but it has a very unique and powerful meaning. Entering the Holy of Holies is a not-for-profit 501c3.
Yes.
And we have a really simple mission. Our mission is to provide meditation, healing, and spiritual tools for transformation to help balance the mind, body, and spirit to individuals seeking personal growth. And, one of the things that's really unique about us, it's regardless of faith or religious affiliation. Yeah. We have a really simple model. We want to help people recreate their lives in love.
I like that. Mind, body, and spirit. When you have all of that together, you can function a little bit better in society. Mind,
Absolutely.
Body, and spirit. What made you want to start something like this?
Well, yeah, the founder, Reverend Nafisa Sharif, she was inspired, like many of us who, were young people in the 70s and 80s. She was inspired by Gil Noble's show,
Wow.
Like It Is.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of the speakers that he always had on the show was Dr. Ben, which we all know him, but Yosef Ben Yakinen, who was an Egyptologist and historian. And one of the places that he would always talk about was the holy temples of Egypt.
Yes.
And then the sacred temples of Kemet. And, Reverend Nafisa was really deeply moved and connected, when she went on her first trip to Egypt. And she visited the sacred temples of Kemet. And, there she realized that Dr. Ben had been talking about the Holy of Holies, which is the most sacred part of these temples and these pyramids. And it led her on a spiritual journey because she realized that also represented the Holy of Holies of our own selves, and that inner sanctum, which we were not allowed to go to in Egypt, we can go to in us individually. And so when you can sit with that inner person, that inner part of yourself, the holiest part of yourselves, is where you can experience everything and learn how to really, again, relax your body, heal your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah. And Angela, how did you get involved?
So I, oddly enough, just when spirit calls you, you find your teacher. So just in my late 20s, was graduating from college and, really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was like, do I want to become like a Dr. Bob Lee? Because I worked in media, or do I want to go into something else? And someone suggested that I go to this free meditation workshop in Harlem, and found Reverend Nafisa, and just fell in love instantly, just from the workshops and the teachings that she sort of offered, and entering the Holy of Holies offered. It just spoke to my spirit, and sort of went to one and was hooked from there on. And it has changed my life. It really has helped me to have my North Star, which is that, again, that inner sanctum, the holiest of myself.
I'm looking at the pictures and you seem so happy and relaxed. Everybody does. How has the organization been able to maintain an environment that is welcoming to people seeking balance and transformation?
Yeah, so one, thank you for that question. I love that question because it's a real simple things that you can do to create sort of a daily routine, and so we always tell people, maybe before you turn on the television and watch the news, or open your phone and look at those text messages, maybe take a moment to pray or to meditate, or maybe it's lighting a candle. And for everyone, it's different and unique. But just take some time to spend time with that, again, that the holiest part of yourself. Maybe you burn a candle again, and just to greet your day in love.
Yeah.
And so like when you go out and get on those trains or whatever you might do, maybe you won't have as much road rage, or none at all. Or you can just smile at another person, and you just feel peaceful, exactly, and happy.
Maybe people need to go to a class like the one
Yes.
you went to, because maybe, I'm just suspecting, maybe not everyone knows how to pray or meditate.
Absolutely. So we offer, thank you for mentioning that, we offer a free meditation every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 8:30 on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us at Entering the Holy of Holies. And again, it's just a wonderful way to learn how to meditate. So thank you for saying that, because it is not the simplest thing. Well, it's actually quite simple when you do it, and it's just really allowing yourself to be present and to be in the moment. And yes, your mind may wander. Yes, it may feel difficult, but eventually, after doing it time and time and time again, it becomes very easy and very peaceful. And a great way, again, just to center yourself and center your day, so that you can walk out that door happy.
I mean, we look at this universe. It's huge, it's vast.
Yes.
But the inner world, the subconscious, is just as vast.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you
There's
have
some.
to come in and deal with the inward part of your being.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a beautiful space. And it's beautiful, and stuff comes up, so people have to expect that, some of those dark places may come up as well, but we have to face that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's butterflies and roses, and sometimes it's some of the places that we really need to look and heal, because it's kind of informing how we are relating to people and dealing with the world. And so when you can sort of face this stuff and really forgive, and just say, I'm gonna love this part of myself that might be challenged, it's a really great start. And again, just another way, another tool to just recreate everything around you, and recreating it from a place of love.
Yeah, and bring about healing.
And bringing about healing. Absolutely.
Now,
Yes.
I understand that you have a 3-day conference coming up commemorating a very special milestone for the organization.
Yes, we are so excited that we've been here and been incorporated for 20 years.
Woo!
Yes, it's a really exciting milestone. Small organizations are strong and mighty, and we have definitely are strong and mighty. So we have a 3-day conference coming up. We're really excited about, starting on Friday evening, October 25th, where we'll be honoring, we'll have a ceremony at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture.
All right.
And we're going to do a 3-day, a retrospective of this last 20 years through pictures and video, But most importantly, we're going to be honoring the former New York State Assembly member,
That's
Inez
my
Dickens.
girlfriend. Yeah,
Yes,
all right.
yes. We love Inez. You know, while we are not a political organization and we're not a social justice organization, you know, Council Member Dickens will be stepping down from her political role. And we wanted to take some time to honor the woman that she is and all of her contributions that she's given to the community through the years. And especially, she honored us about 10 years ago during our 10th anniversary by giving us a letter of recognition, you know, acknowledging the work that we've done in the Harlem community, and really in New York City at large, but definitely in the Harlem community. And so we wanted to just take time to sort of help her to move through this next transition. It's almost like our give back in the form of a rites of passage. And so we're really excited about that on Friday. On Saturday, we have even more fun. We're going to be at the Gibney Dance Center, Dance Studio on Chambers Street. I want to say Chambers Street because there are 2 locations. And there we're going to have African dance classes and a vendor village. The African dance classes will be led by extraordinary dance instructors who are well known across New York City and throughout the country. And so it'll be 6 teachers and, you know, with different African styles, African dance class. And we're really, really excited. And while those dance classes are going on, we'll also have this vendor village so people can buy, you know, wares and products from friends and people in the community. So we're excited about Saturday as well.
And if you have African dances, you got to have African drummers.
We got African dances and African drumming, and just we're gonna have a funky good time. I will say that.
Beautiful.
And then on Sunday, can't forget Sunday. So Sunday, October 27th, we'll be doing a day of meditating, healing, and dancing. And so we'll have about 5 or 6 healing practitioners. So we'll be looking at aromatherapy, meditation, yoga, suicide prevention, and self-care. And finally, to close out this 20th anniversary celebration, we'll be having a bantaba, which is a West African word for celebration through dance and drum. And so anybody can just come up and dance and just express themselves however they want. But it'll be a wonderful way to close out our 20th anniversary celebration.
And this is all on your website, right?
This is all on our website. And Sunday, by the way, will be a Dance Theater of Harlem. Can't forget to say that. Yes. So it's all on our website at ETHOH.org. Again, that's ETHOH.org.
Thank you so much. Angela Harmon, Board Secretary, entering the Holy of Holies, Incorporated. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come back and join us again, okay?
We would love to. Thank you, Dr. Bob.
You got it. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. Oh, no! And I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in. You keep following us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. We want to thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. Join our hosts, Kevin Arlene, Darren Jaime, and Rena Valentine on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays for all new episodes of Open. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. You choose your choice, and let your choice control the choose. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way you're right. So say you can, and you will. But this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you over 107.5 WVLS as we celebrate 50 on BLS. I love you all. Peace.